Have you ever felt like your world was falling apart and the ones you loved most turned against you? I'm Nora, and my life unraveled when my husband's illness changed everything, pushing me into a choice that broke my family. Why does my daughter see me as a monster? And how did my sister's lies tear us apart? This is my story, raw, messy, and full of truths you won't expect. Why do they see me as a monster? I'm done being held back. I just want to live my life, free from the weight of the past. My daughter won't talk to me, and the pain of this isolation is unbearable. I never imagined sharing here could lead to anything meaningful. Perhaps, at last, someone will understand my perspective. For over 20 years, my husband and I shared a life, yet happiness eluded me. We married young, me at 21, him at 25. In that moment, he was everything I ever desired. He was a rock, unwavering and warm. Yet what once felt secure now suffocates with monotony. Our relationship withered away. 3 years ago, his illness shattered everything. He received a diagnosis that shattered his world, leaving him exhausted and unable to hold a job. In an instant, I transformed from his wife to his caregiver. His health consumed him, every word a reflection of his agony and the endless treatments. I was drowning in despair. No one acknowledges the weight of being the one who must keep it all intact. I juggled a full-time job, managed every bill, cared for our daughter, and played the role of nurse. He ceased to be my partner. In that marriage, I was utterly alone, invisible to all. About a year ago, I crossed paths with someone at work. He's in his 30s. I'm in my 40s. Yet he ignited a spark in me I thought was lost. We'll name him Liam. Liam looked at me like my husband hadn't in ages. He'd praise me, spark laughter, and awaken the thrill of being wanted. It was never my intention for this to become an affair, yet here we are. I convinced myself it was nothing to worry about. I craved freedom, a piece of the world just for me. As I spent time with Liam, a truth emerged. I was worthy of happiness. My husband's illness will not define my life. I convinced myself he wouldn't want me to suffer, yet inside, I feared his unforgiveness, if he ever knew. He discovered the truth, and it shattered him. He pleaded for me to remain, to give therapy a chance, but I just couldn't. I left everything behind. He kept calling and texting, pouring out his desperate need for me. I was finished. I declared I could no longer sacrifice my life for him. He ended it all 6 months ago. It was my daughter who discovered him. She called, tears streaming, and I found myself lost for words. What can I even express? It was heartbreaking, but he chose this path. His choices are too heavy for me to bear. After the funeral, my daughter turned away, leaving me in silence. She moved in with her grandparents in Boise, and each time I reach out, she pushes me away. At just 17, she carries the weight of the world, convinced she holds all the answers. I proposed therapy, but she turned it down. In the chaos, Liam stands firm, my unwavering support. He gets me like no one ever could. He showed me I'm not flawed. I simply deserve joy. After months of living together, I'm beginning to rediscover who I truly am. But my daughter, she's trapped in yesterday. She clings to the past. She holds her father's memory tightly, as if it were a sacred relic, and casts all the blame on me. She dismisses Liam without a thought. I understand her pain. Yet, there comes a moment when she must face adulthood. Life pushes forward. Read it, huh? Why should I feel guilty for discovering someone who surpasses the rest? Nora embraces the future, joyfully moving on, while my daughter desperately holds on to what was. Through her eyes, I can't keep this inside any longer. It's consuming me. My mom shared her story on Reddit, painting herself as a victim, and I can't take it anymore. If she wants to share her truth, that's her choice, but I will share mine as well. Perhaps then, the truth will finally be revealed. My dad has always been my closest companion. He was the dad who, after a long day, would still sit with me for hours, pouring his heart into my homework. He'd whisk me away to the park in Spokane, craft blanket forts, and linger into the night, spinning whimsical bedtime tales. He was more than a father. He was my hero. His illness shattered everything. Initially, we believed it was merely stress. Then the diagnosis struck. A relentless illness, stealing away his very essence, piece by piece. At just 14, I sensed the weight of the moment when my mom's silence spoke volumes. She sighed, irritation flickering in her eyes, as if his health were merely a hurdle in her path. She began to drift away from home. Dad lay on the couch, drained, and I did everything I could to ease his burden. Mom's late nights forced me into the kitchen, where I discovered the art of cooking simple meals. She vanished from family dinners. At home, she treated his care like a burden. I listened to their battles. She'd lash out, calling him needy, declaring, "I didn't sign up for this." My dad constantly sought to soothe her, to say he was sorry, though he bore no guilt at all. He endured, heart heavy, as the one he loved saw him as nothing more than a weight to bear. At first, the news of the affair felt unreal, a cruel twist of fate I couldn't accept. Dad hid the truth from me. That night, her phone lay on the counter, and I couldn't look away from the messages that shattered everything. She had been messaging someone called Liam in her post. I faced her, and she offered no denial. She rolled her eyes, a flicker of impatience crossing her face. "You'll understand when you're older," she said, her voice laced with unspoken truths. What is there to understand? Is it really acceptable to shatter your family just out of boredom? It shattered my dad completely. He fought desperately to hide the truth from me. Yet, the pain in his eyes was undeniable. He pleaded for her to remain, despite it all. One night, he confessed he felt inadequate for her, as if he had lost his worth. If only he weren't sick, perhaps her love would remain. She left just days later. I discovered him first. I returned from school, and the silence in the house was suffocating. I wondered if he was just asleep. But when I entered his room, it was empty. I discovered him in the garage. The image haunts me, relentless and vivid. I dialed 911, but the moment had passed. He was lost forever. Do you know what my mom said when I called her, tears streaming down my face? "I'm so sorry. This isn't my fault. She never returned to the house." She stepped back, leaving me to face the police, the ambulance, it all. At 17, I bore the weight alone while she lost herself in her new boyfriend's world. After the funeral, I found myself at my grandparents' door in Boise, seeking solace. I had to leave that house behind. Every room echoed with his presence, a haunting reminder that lingered in the air. My grandparents are incredible, yet their efforts can't wash away the hurt of my mom's actions. Now, she plays the victim. She won't stop calling, claiming I'm punishing her by shutting her out, as if forgiveness is something I owe her. She wants me to meet Liam, as if I'd ever want to face the man she chose over us, while my dad was slipping away. Therapy is tough, but I'm pushing through. There are moments when the weight of blame crushes me. If only I had come home sooner, perhaps I could have saved him. Yet, I recall it wasn't my hand that shattered him. It was her, the one who haunted his dreams. Perhaps I'm just holding on to what once was. How can I move forward when each day brings her actions back to haunt me? Mom, if you see this, let the story be as it is. You're not the one who's suffering. Your decision is final. You must bear this burden now. OP's update. The backlash from my last post is shocking. I sought solace, but found only scorn. My daughter has stopped speaking to me since her father's death. I moved on with my boyfriend, and she severed ties, placing all the blame on me. My marriage ended long before my husband took his last breath. His illness devoured all. I felt invisible, erased. I poured everything out, and now I am empty. My husband's death shattered me, yet I bear no blame. He made that choice on his own. My daughter is spreading falsehoods about me online, painting me as a monster. She's just a teenager, unaware of the tangled web that relationships weave. I've reached out countless times, but she turns away every time. She craves the role of the victim. Liam, my boyfriend, is the only one who has never left my side. He understands me like no one ever could. I've endured so much pain. I've earned my joy. It seems the world is intent on punishing me for daring to move forward. Why must I bear the burden of everyone else's suffering? Editor's note: the daughter echoed her previous post, adding layers of detail. This is my mom's second post about me, and I can't hold back any longer. Once more, she's weaving a web of deceit. She's playing the victim. The truth is this: my mom left us when we needed her most, shattering our world. She shattered the past, refusing to look back. She's gone. 3 years back, my dad received a life-altering diagnosis. It was unbearable. Yet he always fought to be by my side. He never failed to ask about my day, offering help with schoolwork, even in his weariness. He was my anchor, even as his pain cut deep. Mom. She vanished the instant the struggle began. She began staying out late, lost in laughter with friends, while I was left alone to care for my dad. Her eyes would roll at his pleas for help, his illness suffocating their shared existence. She often spoke of her life, as if we were mere shadows in it. That's when Liam entered her life. Initially, I was lost. I began to realize the hours she lost to her phone. She stepped out, radiating a joy I hadn't witnessed in ages. That night, the messages pierced through the silence. She dialed Liam, the love of her life, as my dad fought to rise from the next room. When my dad discovered the truth, it shattered him. He fought for forgiveness, pleading for her to join him in therapy. She stood firm. She claimed she needed distance to discover who she truly was. She left after months of silence. And then my dad, he just broke. He chose to end it all. I was the one who discovered him. At 17, everything changed. I returned from school to discover my dad in the garage. I called the police. Alone in the house, I waited, heart racing for their arrival. My mom never came. As tears streamed down my face, her cold words cut deep. This isn't my fault. She abandoned me when I needed her most. She was indifferent. After the funeral, she found herself living with Liam. I went to live with my grandparents in Boise. I just couldn't bear to be near her. She accuses me of selfishness for ending it. She shattered our family. Now she's on Reddit playing the victim. She isn't. She left us behind. She took my dad's life. even if her hands were clean. She abandoned him to shatter. Now she wants me to meet Liam, to act like he's not the reason we fell apart. Mom, please, just stop reading this. Enough with the deception. Take responsibility for your actions. Your choices are made. Live with them now. Another tale unfolds. My sister betrayed me, accusing me of stealing her wedding fund. My selfish parents insisted I foot the bill. Then she turned her back on me, trusting her instead. 2 years later, my parents returned, revealing my sister's life is shattered by a gambling addiction. Her husband left, and now she's drowning in debt. She pleads for my forgiveness, yearning for my strength to help her mend. Hello, Reddit. This chaos is overwhelming, yet I crave clarity. I, 30F, shared my childhood with my sister Naomi, 32F. She's always been their favorite, no doubt about it. She was the golden child, radiant, captivating, and utterly indulged. I was the one who held it all together, the one who fought for it all, the one who received the warnings about taking life too seriously. Naomi has struggled with money her entire life. She recklessly splurges, drowning in poor choices. Yet my parents always rescued her. Crippling debt looms large. They paid the price. Payments for the car. Done. All the while, I toiled relentlessly, hoarding every cent, never reaching out for assistance. 2 years back, my husband and I were pouring our hearts into saving for our wedding. We had little, yet our pride swelled for what we had saved together. Naomi was also engaged. Her wedding plans spiraled into absurdity, far beyond what she could afford. That's when everything fell apart. Suddenly, my parents turned on me, accusing me of stealing Naomi's wedding fund. She had evidence, damning proof that I had stolen thousands from her savings and moved it to my own. I never saw it coming. I had no idea she was saving for a wedding. I could never betray anyone, especially not my own sister. I pleaded for understanding, but my words fell on deaf ears. My parents erupted, accusing me of betraying Naomi and our family. They insisted I return the money or face the consequences. I pleaded for them to dig deeper. Naomi twisted reality with forged screenshots of bank transfers, playing the victim as if she were vying for an Oscar. She wept, blamed me for shattering her dreams, weaving a tale of betrayal, how she had placed her trust in me, only for me to betray her. I stood firm, denying them the money of strangers. That's when they turned their backs on me. They shared my secret with the whole family, and everyone turned against me. I was utterly isolated. No calls, no escapes, nothing at all. My aunts and uncles unleashed cruel messages upon me. My cousins cut me off online. It cut deep. Naomi finally had her wedding. My parents handed her the cash she said I took. She celebrated her triumph, and I was shattered, left to gather the remnants. 2 years passed. I haven't spoken to my family since that day. It was a struggle at the beginning. My husband and I have forged a beautiful life together. We shared a stunningly intimate wedding with family and dear friends, purchased our first home in Tacoma, and poured ourselves into our careers. My life is at its peak. Yet, what of Naomi's life? Not really. In just a year, her marriage shattered. He walked away, shattering her world when he discovered her secret. The gamble that cost her everything. Now she's back under my parents' roof in Boise. Once more, they're stepping in to help her as she finds herself in dire straits. A few weeks back, a message from my mom pierced through the silence. She insisted we needed to talk, pleading for me to come over. I brushed it aside at first. Then my dad called. At last, I surrendered. Arriving at their house in Boise, My mom broke down in tears, her apologies pouring out like a flood. She revealed that Naomi had deceived them about the wedding fund. It seems there was never any fund at all. Naomi fabricated everything, desperate and suffocating under a mountain of gambling debt, craving cash in a hurry. She turned me into a scapegoat, fully aware my parents would side with her. I sat there, frozen in disbelief. For years, I've carried the weight of being the family outcast for a crime I never committed. Only now do they confess their mistake. My dad confessed their regret, a deep desire to mend what was broken. Then they revealed the truth behind their call. They expect me to forgive Naomi, despite her pain. They believe the family must unite. When I inquired about Naomi's apology, my mom shifted uncomfortably and replied, "She's not ready yet. Yet, she has endured so much." I said I needed time to reflect. Honestly, I'm seething. Naomi shattered my name, shattered my bond with my whole family. Yet, they remain unaccountable. My parents supported her then. Now, they're empowering her. Forgiveness feels impossible. A pang of guilt lingers for not offering them another chance. Reddit, Nora here. I'm standing firm against forgiving my family. New developments. Hello all. The outpouring of support on my original post took me by surprise. Thank you for the comments and advice. Your insights cut deep, helping me navigate the chaos within. Uncertainty gripped me as I faced the dilemma. Yet, after much contemplation, I chose to listen to them again, not for their sake, yet for me. I decided to go to my parents' house in Boise. I had no idea what awaited me. I promised myself I'd hold on, no matter the storm. As soon as I arrived, my mom broke down in tears once more. Her apologies echoed, heavy with regret. They had missed me more than words could say. They should have seen it coming. My dad, usually silent, finally spoke up, his shame cutting through the air like a knife, revealing the pain of their treatment towards me. Naomi's lies hit them like a thunderclap, leaving them reeling in shock. Yet in that moment, they believed they were safeguarding her. I finally voiced the question that has tormented me for years. Why did it feel so effortless for her to think I would betray her trust? I've never experienced anything like that before. My mom remarked on how utterly convincing Naomi appeared. They never imagined she could betray them over something so grave. My dad said they were overwhelmed, caught in the whirlwind of wedding planning, and acted purely on emotion. Only empty words, no truth. Naomi stepped through the door. I never saw this coming. A sincere apology, filled with emotion. A flicker of regret, perhaps. Naomi pretended it was just a simple catch-up, but the tension crackled between us. Her smile faded as she sat, the weight of her words hanging in the air. "So, I guess they told you everything, huh?" I couldn't look away from her. "They said you deceived me about the wedding fund and pointed fingers at me for your gambling debts." She dismissed it, a flicker of pain in her eyes, offered a half-hearted apology. She never imagined it would escalate like this, and added, "You are by your husband's side, finding joy amidst the chaos. Not like me." It was unbelievable. The words pierced through me. I revealed the truth of her lie, how it shattered my family and left me broken. I had to cut off those who tormented me. Nights spent in tears, drowning in solitude. What did she say? It's not on me. It was mom and dad who blew everything out of proportion. I turned to my parents, desperate for them to speak up, to demand justice for her actions. They lingered in a heavy silence, tension thick in the air. Naomi seized the moment, launching into her lecture with fervor. She told me to move on. Family transcends grudges. She dared to say, "You have a good life now." Does it even matter? I rose and declared, "It matters because you shattered me. You deceived me. They trusted you completely. You've never said you're sorry. Yet here you are, playing the victim once more." I stepped out, heart racing. My parents pleaded for me to remain. "We can face this together, as a family." I failed. Naomi remains their focus. She remains the same master of manipulation, unchanged and relentless. Since then, my mom has bombarded me with messages, urging me to reconsider. She says Naomi is in therapy now, fighting to be better. Yet, she remains unaccountable for the pain she caused me. I'm shattered. I refuse to let anger consume me endlessly. Yet I doubt I'll ever trust my family again. My parents might have said they were sorry. Yet, they continue to fuel Naomi's actions. If I welcome them back, what's to stop them from betraying me again when she needs someone to blame? I'm still torn, unsure of the path ahead. Many of you pointed out that forgiveness doesn't equate to reconciliation. That's where my heart is pulling me. Forgiveness is my path to inner peace. Yet, that doesn't mean I have to welcome them back into my world. Naomi. Forgiveness feels impossible, not from anger, but from the weight of what she did. Yet she hasn't even attempted to make things right. Her apology felt hollow, a mere veil for excuses and deflection. Thank you once more for your invaluable advice and unwavering support. I'll let you know if anything shifts. For now, I'm stepping back, prioritizing my own joy. Edit. Comments flood in. What about your extended family? I couldn't care less about them. I've severed all connections with them as well. Now my only family is my husband's parents. Final tale. My sister, the bully, took the gifts I bought for my nephews and claimed they were from Santa. I shattered. Last Christmas, everything changed. My older sister has always been a force to reckon with. She often exuded an air of entitlement. Yet when someone pushes her away, she reverts to her usual self for a moment, only to spiral back into chaos again. 10 years of marriage, 2 young boys, ages 6 and 7, fill her days with joy and chaos. Each year, she ensures there's a special surprise from Santa waiting for them beneath the tree. We're all okay with that. That Christmas, in 2021, she did something that left me speechless. Christmas Eve brings the family together at my grandparents' home in Salem, a cherished tradition filled with warmth and love. Each family cherishes their own Christmas day, celebrating with their children, SOS families, or partners. Last year, I feared I wouldn't reach the Christmas Eve party, caught up in personal turmoil. I sent the gifts for my relatives, carefully rewrapped in a large box, to my grandparents' house in Salem, just in case. I made it home just in time for Christmas Eve, racing through several states. It all unfolded perfectly, culminating in a grand dinner featuring both turkey and ham. I can't resist the turkey. Then the moment for gifts arrived. We draw straws to decide who will hand out the gifts to the younger family members. My 16-year-old cousin drew the short straw. Everything felt perfect until the moment my nephews opened their gifts. Every gift I sent ahead bore the same wrapping, a silent echo of my thoughts. It became clear over time which ones were mine. When the 2 boys received the gifts I gave them, my sister excitedly pointed out new name labels, clearly covering mine, and declared they were from Santa. The boys tore them open, their shouts of joy filling the air. Fury burned within me, and my sister caught the storm brewing in my eyes. She yanked me away, and I demanded to know what she was thinking. She hesitated, then revealed that since she believed I wouldn't see Christmas that year, it would be kinder for the kids to think the gifts came from Santa. My anger erupted, and I shouted at her. My grandmother noticed, fully aware of the truth behind it all. She pleaded for silence on the fake Santa gifts, but I erupted at her attempt to brush it all away. Half the family rushed into the kitchen, drawn by the echoes of raised voices, eager to uncover the chaos within. My sister attempted to speak, but I cut her off, accusing her of claiming the gifts I bought for my nephews were from Santa. My grandfather's gaze pierced through her, and he asked, "Is this true?" My sister's eyes glistened with unshed tears, and then she retreated into her familiar defense, just as she always did when confronted with her mistakes. She wept like a child, collapsing to the floor, lost in her own despair. Through her tears, she struggled to justify herself, but only my grandmother seemed convinced, echoing my sister's excuses. They believed I wouldn't show up. It was all for the children, and so on and so forth. My grandfather remained unshaken, however. He and a few family members insisted she owed me for this. It hurts that the boys will never know the truth, that the nice, expensive gifts I gave them are lost to them, all because of my sister's actions. My grandmother relented, momentarily joining us before retreating to the living room, her gaze shifting to the children. An idea struck me. I would hand each of my nephews a crisp $50 bill from my wallet. I demand repayment for that money and for the gifts that my sister took from me. My brother-in-law let out a heavy sigh and nodded in resignation. I pulled my sister into the garage, ready for a confrontation. I handed each of my nephews a fresh $50 bill, urging them to choose anything their hearts desired. My sister remained nearly mute for the rest of the evening. Silence reigns, void of tears. Only silence. She felt like a lifeless figure, frozen in a moment that demanded warmth. Before I left, my brother-in-law vowed my sister would repay me herself. I feared the wait for my money would stretch endlessly. Yesterday, my sister and brother-in-law stood at my door, their presence heavy with unspoken words. My sister, with a trembling hand, offered me an envelope containing $200, her voice barely above a whisper as she apologized. As her brother-in-law urged her to stop, her excuses piled up, each one heavier than the last. What she did was truly despicable. She understands there was no justification for her actions. She offered one last apology before turning away, heading back to the car. Desperate breaths, a crumpled tissue in hand. My brother-in-law revealed that the $200 was taken from my sister's account. That was her only thrill for the month. Perhaps this lean month will be her wake-up call. Most likely not. Apologies for the oversight. I neglected to mention my gender here. In my early 30s, I stand at the edge of everything. I'm exhausted by the constant messages telling me to just let it go. And that within their family. It's common to label gifts for the kids as coming from Santa. Listen up, everyone. Your family belongs to you, not to me. Santa gifts were never part of my parents' world. Few of my relatives ever dared to try. Only my sister and Nathan still care. A powerful truth was revealed by someone. For Santa to deliver gifts on Christmas Eve, he must arrive a day early. I went along just enough to keep my nephew's joy intact. Some believed my actions stemmed from a need for validation or rivalry. It never was. I needed to show my sister the truth. I strive to ensure every child in my family feels the magic of Christmas Eve equally. I never overshadow their parents with any gifts. My sister's twisted reasoning turned my gifts to my nephews into something unrecognizable, stripping them of my love. I handed each child $50, the worth of their gifts. RC cars, just a fleeting thought, yet they spark excitement. If you truly knew my sister as I do, though few of you do, aside from the trolls, you wouldn't defend her actions with the presents. For over 30 years, I've endured her chaos. Here's a glimpse of her impact on me. In the dead of night, she took the razor to my hair, leaving a patch of bare skin when I was just 17. My head was shaved completely before returning to school in Tacoma. She lashed out at me repeatedly when things didn't go her way. Only when I fought back with all my strength, nearly causing her harm, did she finally cease her attacks. Then she turned to emotional torment and cruel tricks. She signed my name up for a slew of adult magazines. I'm talking about the truly unsettling, disgusting ones. They reached not just my home, but also my parents and countless relatives. They couldn't understand why my name was on those magazines, cluttering their mailbox with such nonsense. I discovered it was my sister only when one of her friends bravely stepped forward to reveal the truth. My sister exploded, furious that her best prank was ruined, severing ties with her friend in a fit of rage. That friend is now mine. We shared a fleeting connection. My sister spread my number and picture around Tacoma, declaring I was gay. My phone erupted with calls and texts from those seeking excitement. I changed my number 5 times just to escape it. My sister signed my email up for wild stuff as well. I had to keep changing my email. She always found a way to get it. I had to threaten to expose her true self to Nathan to make it all end. Her anger pierced through me, a sharp reminder of the joy I had shattered. She donned the perfect facade and became Nathan's wife. We all succeeded in persuading her to sign a prenup before the wedding. My sister swapping the tags on the gifts for my nephews to be from Santa was just the latest in her endless antics. Unacceptable. I refused to tolerate it. If I had just ignored it, she would have repeated it endlessly, driven by an unyielding force until someone intervened. I had to end it right now. It would have never stopped. They say my anger runs too deep. Try to endure all I've just mentioned without feeling rage. I've experienced both therapy and counseling. They understood my fury towards my sister, horrified as I revealed everything she had done. Now, I unleash my anger only when she wrongs me. Every glance at her ignites a fire of anger within me, yet I am not. Her anger ignites my own.